I'm Nate Ludwig,
And I'm Simran Randhawa.
and this is Luis Pineda, one of our Marysville Getchell divers.
Um, so how long have you been diving in general?
I have been diving for about 3 years now. Yeah, it's been about 3 years. I wish I did freshman year, but I didn't get the opportunity to do it.
Oh, okay. So what year was your first year going to state? Because we know that you were a state diver here.
My first year was my sophomore year. It seemed that I tried to do the sport and I was actually not bad at it.
Mhm.
I had past experiences with breakdancing, so that helped quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Did you find the part about the actual being able to compete at such a high level like really cool? I mean, going in your first year, second year, and being able to dive is dive at a state level is really cool. At least in my opinion. So how did you feel? Knowing that you did that in just 1 to 2 years.
Knowing that I went to state so quickly was pretty awesome. I know I had quite a bit of potential when my coach, she would push me more and more and more till I reached that state level, so I knew I had that potential to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So, talking about state, how would it be like for you to just start out a sport that you've never tried before, and then in 1 year or in one season, you're able to make it all the way? What's that like?
It's pretty hard, for one. Many people might see it as like, oh, he just went because he plays, but no, I made it because I trained hard. I was not afraid to do the dives. I kept going. I pushed. I did not give up. It's just a lot of mentality. You just got to push until you do it.
Mm-hmm. So state, how is state different than any other meet that you guys have? Like, give us a rundown of the emotions that go through, arriving there and how it all feels.
Going to state, my first time, for example, we arrived. I saw the pool. It was an Olympic-sized pool. There was 1 meter, 3 meter, 5 meter, 10 meter platforms, all these different crazy things, and all these different divers. They all were throwing super hard dives that I didn't even know existed. It was overwhelming knowing that I have to compete against these super great divers that are probably diving universities now.
Yeah.
But honestly, it just all goes back to how you accept it and just do the dives.
Mm-hmm.
So, what goes into a day of life of a diver like yourself? What's your like normal routine on a meet day or stuff like that, and what do you do to prepare yourself mentally and physically?
For just practices, it'd just be you live your normal life. Just of course don't eat anything too heavy prior to dive because you're doing all these flips, you're doing all the twists and everything, knowing that you are going to do all these different things. You just can't eat anything or else you have the chance of vomiting. Mm-hmm. And for meats, it's almost the same deal, but you just got to eat lighter food as well. And because if you are nervous, the same thing could happen, anything like that. It's just it's just what you eat, honestly. And then lots of stretching,
mm-hmm.
lots of practically reenacting the dives on the ground. It's just all practice.
Mm-hmm. So now on a normal meet, I understand like the state, you see all these guys, it's very different. At a normal meet, do you find yourself, thinking the same way? Are you like slightly nervous? You excited? What's the type of emotions going through you?
At state?
No, at
a normal meet.
At a normal meet.
Personally, I get quite nervous because they expect a lot from me. Knowing that I am a state diver, they're like, oh, this kid's gonna do something super cool, which is not all about how many flips you do or how many twists you do. It's about how well you execute the dives. To mentally prepare myself, I just need to listen to music prior to the meet. I just need to pretty much completely blank out on everything.
All right. We're going to continue asking you some questions, but real quick, we're going to cut to a student-made segment by somebody in our group. So.
Okay.
I want to go home. I don't want to be at school. I hope no one talks to me. These guys are probably going to talk to me.
How you doing? New to the school?
Man, I really wish these people would just leave me alone. I just don't want to talk to anybody right now. I'm just gonna write what I feel in this mirror, because that's what I feel. I feel sad. I feel ugly. I feel not loved.
What the heck? Sad, ugly, not loved. No. You're happy. You're beautiful. And you're loved.
Wow, what's this? Somebody cares about me?
Hello and welcome back to Charger Chat. I'm Simran Randhawa.
And I'm Nate Ludwig.
And here we're interviewing state diver Luis Pineda. So, since you've been diving for these past 3 years, what would you say is your favorite dive?
Ooh, that's a little hard. I know about 20 dives, so it's a little hard to pick just one. I'd say my inward 1.5, which is a dive that you stand on the diving board and you face towards the end of it and you jump up and flip towards the board, which you don't hit the board. Reasoning behind I like it is because it's a thrill seeker. You go up and you're throwing these multiple flips towards the board, and I get really close to the board, so everybody freaks out, and I really love that.
You think you'd be able to show us while standing what it might look like if you were actually diving? Just a quick maybe movement of the legs or arms or something to give them a little demonstration of what it might look like.
Sure.
All right, let's see it.
Any of them.
So you start off with the diving board facing this way. You are on the edge of it, on your toes, you lean a little bit, you go up. You go up like this, down, press up, go straight up.
So go straight up.
And then reach as high as possible.
Reach as high as possible.
Do one somersault.
One somersault.
And you go on your
And you go on your head.
head.
All right.
So that's a lot of stuff. Dang.
Okay.
So, when you're on the board, you said you can get nervous easily for meets. Does your anxiety get worse when you're on the board, or do you just kind of have a calm moment, or what's going on in your mind when you're standing on that board and you're facing the water about to do whatever dive you're doing?
On the board itself, I'd say I try to just not think about the dives, because if you overthink, you tend to either overdo the dive, you overthink the dive, and then you don't execute it. It's all about it's a lot of muscle memory. You just can't think about it, or else you won't do it.
So it's got to be second hand, kind of. It's got to be embedded in your mind so that you don't have to be thinking about what you're doing when you're doing it. Got it. That must take a lot of practice. You have to do it a lot of times, just repetition, do it over and over again until it kind of just gets permanently memorized.
Yeah. So, you said, we're around 20 dives. What would you say is the hardest one? The one that you struggle with the most?
The one that I struggle with the most probably is one that I recently learned within like this past week is the front 2.5. You're doing 2 somersaults and then putting that somersault practically on your head. So it's pretty hard because if you don't reach a certain amount of height, you won't make it to the water, and you will you could smack and get hurt.
So, since you're on the dive team, which is also a swim team, do you ever do any swimming along with all your dives, or you ever do a little bit of one and then do a lot of the other, or how does that go?
I try to focus primarily on dives since I try to make it to state every year.
Yeah.
But every once in a while I'll do the either a 50 freestyle, which is just down and back of the pool, or I do the 100 freestyle or 100 freestyle relay, which is down and back as well, but it's on a relay with 4 other people. That's pretty cool. It's just I like to swim sometimes, just not all the time.
So, being on the team, you're also the team captain. Does being a captain bring responsibilities along with that? Does it make you feel like you're in a position of leadership, or how does being a captain change you as a diver?
For being a captain, there are quite a bit of responsibilities. We started out with 15 divers, which is half the team of just Getchell itself. You just gotta take care of your teammates. You gotta make sure they're on time. You gotta make sure they have a ride. You gotta just pretty much just watch after them. And then, like, for example, like if our coach is a little late to practice, you gotta warm them up. You gotta tell them to wait, and you gotta tell them. And if coach is paying attention, also like on the board, you should be up there coaching them little things if you can. Just smaller things that you should just help them out.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite part about being a captain? Is it the influencing other people, the name behind it, or just being able to be out there in a leadership position? What would you say is like your favorite aspect?
Probably, I'd say it'd be just how I have influenced other divers, how they see me as somebody that they could come to ask about certain dives, if like what to do for it, just in general, just little things. I just like how they can support stuff on me. They can come to me.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut to another segment right here. Just break up the time a little bit, but we'll be right back to ask you some more questions.
Dude, you ready to retake this test? Nah, bro. I don't study for anything. I don't believe in school.
Right, I'm probably gonna fail it then.
Yeah, probably. Not a big deal, though. Did you know that we actually found a real-life dragon, and it breathes fire?
Dude, no way. I love dragons. No way. No way.
I can't believe you actually believe that, dude. You're so freaking gullible.
Hello, Logan.
What's up, man?
Simron, these are your retakes. Please take out a pencil.
You start right away.
Test number.
Hey man, can you please be quiet?
Dude, I'm gonna get a better test grade than you doing this, so.
Okay, but could you still be quiet?
I'm not gonna be able to pass this test. Should I take Simran's? He's really gullible.
Alright, class. I have to go do something for a bit, so I'll be back. Can I just see your test real quick?
No, man.
Please?
This is my test.
No, I just need to see your test real quick.
No,
Just real quick.
it's my test, man.
Alright, Alright. Thank you, sir, Mom.
Dude, this is not my test.
Sure it is, dude. This is my test. That's your test. Alright, class. Add in your tests. Test is over.
Alright.
There you go, Mr. Teacher.
Thank you, Logan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Simran.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm gonna ace this test, for sure. Oh, noodles! I forgot to switch the names.
Welcome back to Charge Chat. I'm Nate Ludwig,
And I'm Simran Randhawa,
and we're here with Luis.
state dive captain. Now that you're a captain, you know, that's a huge leadership position. Do you enjoy being in leadership positions in general, or have you been in them? You know, is that a situation that's...
I do enjoy being in the position. I'd say what started off is I have been in this position for quite a few years. I've been coaching, I refereed, I have done just multiple small leadership things. I'm also in his leadership class, which is just the class itself, which is leading, and also I'd say, and I have a little brother who's the first leadership role itself.
Mhm.
But for leading, I guess divers is a little different because it's a bunch of students, a bunch of teenagers, you know, on a team, and it's sometimes a little hard to control them, but at the same time, it's really fun to hang out with them and just know they're having fun and we're all having fun.
Yeah.
So how does being a dive captain correspond to your daily life?
Corresponds. I have to always show that I'm a leader, that I can't mess up, you know. I can't screw up. I can't be childish. I just need to just show that I am a leader.
So we had Connor DeMarco in here once before. He's, he's a captain with you. He's the swim captain. How does that relationship work? Are you only, leading the dive kids? Is he only leading the swim kids? Or are you guys working together to lead everybody?
Well, I primarily lead the dive kids, and then sitting with Connor, he leads the swim. But when it comes to like larger events, like invitationals, stuff like that, we do correspond with each other. We all we lead an entire team, including MPs. But stuff like that, we primarily do it separate, but we will come together as scheduled.
Yeah. So now we're going to go to a quick clip of you doing some of your dives, and we'll be right back.
Fix your mic because we can't hear you.
It's in place.
It's right. Because he said we turned it up all the way and they can't hear you.
That's why I opened up.
Remember, he's mic 8. It's mic 8, not mute.
cool dives. But welcome back to Charter Chat. Once again, I'm Nate, and this is Simran.
Uh.
So, which out of those dives that was in that video, which one was your favorite?
Out of those I'd probably say the back 1.5 half, which is 1.5 somersaults backwards. So you're doing 1 somersault and going on your head, but you add a half twist to that. So you do the somersault, you twist around, and then you go forward and try to put it on head. It's all quite a few little actions that are a little hard, but it's honestly really fun to do.
So, are the dives you have to do in normal meets different than what you have to do at state?
The ones that I try to compete at normal meets, I try to compete the same ones at state, but at state you're competing 11 instead of 6. But the primary ones are the same ones as the 6 ones because I try to get the most practice out of them. Try to get the most experience of like competition atmosphere-wise, so I can be prepared for state. But primarily, yeah, it's just almost the same. If not, then it's just a little bit of a difference.
So, talking about dives and meets, compare your very first meet that you remember to the most recent meet you've had.
My very first meet, I believe I competed JV. I only scored a couple points, like 47, something like that. But compared to my more recent ones, I'm scoring like 200, which is a great improvement, which is over 4 times the improvement, 5 times, I don't know.
So, scores, how many dives do you do in a regular meet and how many dives do you do at state?
At state, you do 11, or you first do 5, and then there's a cutoff if you don't make that certain amount of points. But at normal meets for varsity, there's 6 dives, but within those 6 dives, you have to have 4 of the different categories: front, backs, reverses, inwards, and then 2 voluntary, which could be twists or another of the same similar dives.
So as we know, you're a part of a team. So how's that like relationship with your teammates? You know, is that something you find like, you know, cherish? Is that something you remember outside of high school being like, hey man, I really enjoy being with these guys, or you know, what's your thoughts on that?
As a team, I really enjoy it. I know I will forever remember it. All the used to be seniors last year and the years before that, they were all made the experiences also very fun. Always remember those years. Some things of swimming or diving I'd probably remember the most would be going to state and having those memories, like going to the pool at the hotel, you know, stuff like that with everybody else, including the swim team and dive team.
So, do you plan on pursuing dive as a sport after high school? Because you do it a lot now. You're very passionate about it. You've made state, and you've gone pretty far in the sport. Do you see yourself doing it in the future?
In the future, I can't see myself doing it. I'm hoping to maybe get I don't know, some small scholarships for it. Maybe we'll see about that. But I do hope to at least do some club diving for either college, university, wherever I go to. That's just something I really like to. But competition-wise, I'd like to, but I want to focus on school more because that's why I'm going to school.
Yeah. We've got one more segment. We're going to cut to that real quick, and we'll be right back with you.
Time to go to school. bro. I don't care. I forgot my meal. Hey, what about school? I don't care about school, bro. Wait, what the heck? My muscles. It's probably because I skipped my meal. What the heck? My muscles are back.
Good morning and welcome back to Charter Chat. I'm Nate Ludwig,
I'm Simran Randhawa.
and we're here at Luis. So Luis, what is your favorite memory that you've had from diving? Out of all the meets, all the practices, all the after-school events and stuff like that, what's that one memory that's above them all?
It'd probably be my sophomore year at state. I made it through the first round as a sophomore, first time ever diving that year. Made it through the cutoffs, and I got into the semifinals at state. And we were doing a couple dives, and the very last dive before the next cutoff, before finals, I threw a dive that I haven't really done. Like, I've done maybe 3 of them in my entire career, but I threw it and I did it, and it was a super proud moment because I never thought I could do it. My coach ran up. She was a judge herself, and she ran up and just hugged me even though I was wet and stuff. It was just it was really special knowing that I accomplished something that I thought none of us thought I could do.
Mm-hmm. So after you leave, for college or whatever you decide to do after high school, what are you going to miss most about being a part of this team?
I'd probably miss the atmosphere of everybody together, all the friendships, honestly, it was like a big family, everybody together. It was just very friendly. Everybody cared about each other. It's just a lot of bonds that have been made over the years with everybody else.
If you could go back in time and start diving when you were from a younger age, would you? Because you started the sport at a very late age. Would you ever go back and you wish you could have started when you were younger to give you more practice?
I would definitely have started earlier. Earlier, I used to do soccer. I used to do a little bit of basketball, a little bit of baseball, a little bit of everything. But I never thought about swimming or diving. But if I knew about it and if I tried it earlier, I would definitely do it because I know if I had more practice, I'd advance more and I'd get a little bit higher in state and stuff, everything like that. But and I'd probably love the sport even more.
Mm-hmm. So you said you played a bunch of other sports at that same time. Would you say that, what was that reason that got you to leave those sports and come over and participate in dive?
To leave the sports itself, it was a little difficult because I did sports year-round, and then diving is only winter season, which was a little hard for me. But to leave those sports, I chose to do diving instead was because I had a lot of potential in diving. I had potential of getting scholarships. I had potential of going to state itself, which is hard in a lot of sports. But yeah, I left to go so I can advance more in one sport rather than be okay at other sports.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good piece of advice you give to new divers and new swimmers on the team?
For divers, I'd say, for one, trust the coach because dives may seem a little hard and it's not possible, but if the coach sees potential that you can do it, you can do it. And then for swimming, I'd say, same thing almost. If the coach thinks you can do the 500, then you can do the 500. If not, if she says no, then don't. It's all up to coaches have experience for a reason. They are coaching for a reason, so trust them.
Mm-hmm. So, I'd like to thank you for coming on tonight, today. It's great having you on, but that's going to look like that's it for here on Charger Chat. I'm Simran Randalla.
I'm Nate Ludwig. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.